There were two spots on the Tokaido where Mount Fuji could be seen on the left side of the road from Edo to Kyoto, instead of on the right. One is left Fuji of Nanko in Chigasaki and the other is here in Yoshiwara. The reason is that in both cases, the road turns largely to the north, and Mount Fuji is temporarily visible on the left. The distance from Hara-juku to Yoshiwara-juku is about 12.5 kilometers, which is not a mountain road, but it is quite a distance. Ukishima Swamp, called Ukishima-gahara at that time, should also be included in the map in a thin layer. The Tokaido crosses the Tokaido line after leaving Hara-juku and joins the Senbun-kaido around Higashi-Kashiwabara. Around JR Higashi-Taganura Station, there was an Enoshuku, and a little further on, crossing the Hiranuma Bridge, there was an Ichirizuka in Numata Shinden. Just before JR Yoshiwara Station, the Tokaido turns sharply to the right and passes under the tracks of the Tokaido line. Then pass through the north side of Yoshiwara Station and cross the Numa River. A little further on, before the Yoda Bridge, you will pass under the Shinkansen and the bypass, which is like a three-way intersection if you are coming from the east, and the Tokaido is the one-way exit in the middle of the road. After crossing here, the road gradually turns to the right and you will temporarily see Mount Fuji on your left. Fuji can be seen in front of the road from the next traffic light, if you are lucky. After crossing the left Fuji, follow the road to Gakunan Railway's Yoshiwara Honcho Station, which is approximately where Yoshiwara-juku becomes the center of Yoshiwara Relay Station. The Tokaido's Yoshiwara-juku was divided into the Kami-kaido, the main road of the Tokaido, and the Shimo-kaido, the old road. The Honjin was located at the rear of the road, and if you went straight ahead, you would reach Kofu via Fujinomeya on the Nakamichi-auken, also known as the Nige-kaido because of the name of a specialty of Kofu. If you went to the right at Yoshiwara-juku, you could pass through Gotemba on the Jurikimichi Road, so it was also a strategic point of traffic where various roads intersected. The Yoshiwara-juku began at Yoshiwara Minato, located on the southwest side of what is now JR Yoshiwara Station. Today's Taganura port was once called Yoshiwara Minato and was a river port on the Yoshiwara River, not a large inlet-like port as it is today. Here, in the Kamakura period, Minamoto no Yoritomo placed a mitsuka on the Suzukawa and created a route to cross by boat to Maida village on the opposite bank of the Yoshiwara River. 340 years later, around 1555, the village was moved to the southeast side of Yoshiwara Station due to tsunami and sand drift, and the name of the juku was officially established as Yoshihara at that time. This is the Moto Yoshiwara. In the early days, the Tokaido route went straight through Yodobashi Bridge, following the path of the road. However, this site was also devastated by a tidal wave in 1639, and to prevent a recurrence, it was later relocated to the west of where left Fuji can be seen, to a place called Naka-Yoshihara. However, in 1680, Naka-Yoshiwara was again devastated by a tidal wave, and was relocated further inland to the present-day Yoshiwara Honcho area. The Tokaido, which had run along the sea from Hara-juku to Yoshiwara-juku, now turned sharply to the north, with its back to the sea, in front of Yoshiwara-juku. Fuji, which had previously been visible on the right, was now visible only 300 meters to the left, giving rise to the famous site known as Mount Fuji on the left. Here is an Applemap street view to see the topography. Considering the mechanism of storm surge, the very deep water of Suruga Bay increases the suction effect of low pressure. The topography of Suruga Bay, which is narrow in depth, also increases the blowing in effect of strong winds, Fuji eruption, sand drift, land subsidence, and other natural disasters. These factors pushed the Yoshiwara-juku, located at the deepest part of Suruga Bay, further and further inland. Let us take a closer look at Hiroshige's painting. In the painting, beside the Bajiki marker stakes marking the entrance to the Yoshiwara-juku, 3 boys are depicted riding on horses along a row of pine trees. Only the last one notices Mount Fuji on the left and looks in that direction. It seems as if Hiroshige intended to show Fuji. As in this painting, 3 children are mounted on a horse with a wooden frame, which is called Sanpo Kaujin, meaning Kaujin-sama, the god of the hearth, and is an image of the Sanpo of the Shinto ritual utensils. It is said that during pilgrimages to the ice shrine, there was a combination of an adult in the middle and a child on each side. In addition, horses carrying children wore straw sandals, which was not uncommon in those days, and there were also straw sandals specially designed for horses to protect their hooves. For this reason, the horsemen carried both their own straw sandals and those of their horses with them at all times. The reissue edition also depicts left Fuji, but the way it looks is a bit exaggerated. The travelers on horseback are not traveling toward Kyoto, but toward Edo. The Gasho edition depicts a tea house serving Yamakawa no shirazake, which was also a specialty of the Yoshiwara-juku. Beyond Yoshiwara-juku, in the area north of today's JR Fuji Station, there was a Ai no Juku called Matoichiba, where white sake was a specialty. The name Yamakawa no shirazake does not refer to the name of the place, but to the fact that the water of the river flowing through the mountains looks white when it foams up, and so white sake was called Yamakawa no shirazake, as in the common phrase. Poem Edidin still depicts left Fuji, but the main focus is on Mount Fuji, not people. The curves along the Naotemichi are almost the same as the real the Tokaido. Hokusai's 53 Stories also depicts the process of making white sake, a specialty of the Yoshiwara-juku. Near the Fuji River, glutinous rice was grown extensively, and white sake made from it was a specialty. Today, it has been restored in the Yoshiwara area as Yamakawa no shirazake and is sold as muddy sake. I went to this place, where Mt. Fuji can be seen on the left between the beautiful pine trees. Now, the pine trees and the ridge between rice fields had been turned into factories and private houses. It is a little disappointing that on this day we could not see to the top of Mt. Fuji. Looking at photos taken around 1918, it seems that the rows of pine trees were still in good shape. I took a look at this area with Google Maps Street View. The Tokaido in orange color is covered over it. The Naotmichi, or Tambomichi, which Hiroshige painted, is nowhere to be found, and there are buildings all the way up to the Fuji River. What you see in this photo is almost the fan-shaped area of the Fuji River flowing from the right. Since ancient times, the Fuji River has been actively changing its flow to the area around Yoshiwara-juku, repeatedly overflowing and depositing sediments. I will add Hiroshige's viewpoint to this in red gradient. Yoshiwara-juku, which had to be relocated many times to escape repeated high tides and disasters, gave birth to a famous place with a slightly different flavor, Mount Fuji on the left. It too has now become a common normal town. The Tokaido, which for a time showed Mt. Fuji to the left, has largely turned to the west, passing north of Fuji Station ahead and heading toward the Fuji River flowing from Koshu.